Everyone promises change on a Sunday night. The desk is cleaned, the new app is installed, the quote is saved. But change doesn't die because of laziness. It dies because the plan is built for the best day, not for the worst one. Day 0 is the night before the challenge begins. This is where most people already lose. Not tomorrow, tonight. The enemy is friction. Whatever requires thinking in a tired moment will fail in that moment. So the rule is simple. Remove thinking. Lay out shoes, fill the water bottle, pre-write the first journal line, decide the wake-up cue, set the phone in another room. Pre-commitment turns "I'll try" into "I already started." Marcus Aurelius wrote that the obstacle becomes the way. The obstacle here is future you at 6 a.m. who doesn't care about motivation. Build rails so even a sleepy version of you slides into action. Write a one-line contract on paper. For 30 days I do the next right action, not the perfect one. Sign it. Put it where quitting can see it. Then run a fire drill. Simulate the worst morning, late night, missed alarm, messy kitchen. Now perform the first 3 minutes of the routine anyway. Not perfect, present. Feel how ritual beats mood. This challenge isn't about heroism. It's about engineering obedience to a simple path. Tonight is the only night with real magic because it changes nothing yet changes everything. It removes the decision from tomorrow. Quitting loves choices. Discipline loves defaults. Build a default now. Day 1 is not about speed. It's about steering. The protocol is 3 gears that move in one direction. Gear 1 is attention. Most people try to change actions while their attention is hijacked by noise. Today, cut one lever that hijacks attention. Disable all non-human notifications and remove one app icon from the home screen. Put a single index card on the desk with 3 boxes, think, do, review. At the top, write the day's highest leverage action. Nothing else matters until that box is ticked. Gear 2 is belief. Belief is not affirmations. It is the story assigned to facts. When a task feels heavy, write 2 columns. Interpretation versus reality. I'm awful at this becomes I am at step 1 of 20. The brain calms when the story is honest. Gear 3 is behavior. The behavior rule is minimum viable win. If the plan says 30 minutes, do 10 perfectly. If 10 is impossible, do 3 with full presence. Perfection is addictive, but consistency is transformative. At night, run a 2-minute review. 1 line for a win, 1 line for a fix, 1 line for gratitude. Day 2 adds a friction audit. List 3 moments where momentum died and write 1 friction removal per moment. Pre-fill the bottle, pre-open the dock, preset the workout mat. Day 3 connects gears. Attention in the morning, belief check at midday, when energy dips, behavior minimum win before bed. This rhythm builds identity quietly. You are not changing everything. You are changing the order. Attention first, belief second, behavior third. Keep it small, keep it steel. Overthinking looks like intelligence, but acts like fear in a tuxedo. The mind loops because it's trying to avoid a small embarrassment by creating a large delay. For the next 3 days, use the Stoic divide. Control versus influence versus ignore. Draw 3 boxes. Control, direct actions within reach. Influence, conversations, requests, preparation. Ignore, everything else. When anxiety hits, write the worry, then force it into 1 box. If it lands in ignore, perform a physical reset. Stand, exhale long, sip water, return to the task. If it's influence, schedule a single step, email, call, research, and move on. If it's control, do a 3-minute starter and let momentum carry. Pair this with the 2-question drill. 1. What is the next non-embarrassing action? 2. What will happen if I don't act today? The brain hates clean questions because they end the loop. End it anyway. At work blocks, run 2-5-5 cycles. 25 minutes focused, 5 minutes off-screen breathing or walking. During the 5, ask, what box does my next worry belong in? Evenings, write 1 paragraph titled, What Went Wrong and Why That's Fine. Overthinking dies fastest when errors are permitted and studied. Days 5 and 6 add a rule. No decision after 10 p.m. Tired minds negotiate against discipline. If something feels urgent late, capture it and schedule the decision for morning. The goal here isn't a quiet mind. It's a quiet path. The mind can chatter while the feet keep moving. Day 7 is the cliff where most people quit, not from fatigue, but from identity mismatch. The actions are new, but the story about the self is old. Identity beats willpower in the long run. So carve 3 identity statements that start with, I am the kind of person who, keep them behavioral, not mythical, shows up for 10 minutes even when tired, does first drafts ugly and fixes them later, chooses control over complaint. Place them where quitting can see them. Phone lock screen, kettle, bathroom mirror. Every morning, pair one statement with a micro proof, a 3-minute act that demonstrates it. The brain begins to expect what it repeatedly does. Next, build a refusal list. Write 3 things the new identity doesn't do. Doom scroll before work, argue online, start the day without water and movement. These aren't rules. They're refusals, a boundary with the old self. Then anchor the routine with a totem, an object that marks on duty. It could be a ring turned, a watch face changed, or a desk lamp clicked to a specific color. When the totem is on, only identity-consistent actions are allowed. When it's off, relax. This reduces decision fatigue by making discipline situational, not perpetual. Nights become a short ceremony. Note 1 proof of identity and 1 act of refusal. Day 10 adds a public promise to a small circle. 1 sentence sent to a friend. Day 10 done. Minimum win achieved. Not for praise, but for pressure. The goal of these days is not bigger output, it is stickier identity. If a habit can live inside a name, it can live through a hard season. Discipline is not a mood, it's architecture. The next 5 days are about redesigning the environment, so the path of least resistance points toward the protocol. Start with trigger action maps. For each daily trigger, wake, desk, lunch, 8 p.m., assign a default micro-action. Drink water, open the work doc, walk 5 minutes, prep for tomorrow. Tape the map near the trigger. When the trigger fires, the action follows, no negotiations. Next, deploy friction wedges, small obstacles between you and sabotage. Put the phone charger across the room. Uninstall 1 autoplay app. Keep only 1 snack in sight, fruit or nuts. Put the hardest tasks file on the desktop with a name that starts 001_, so it alphabetically wins. Automate what can be automated. Recurring alarms titled with verbs, coffee on timer, a nightly device cutoff. Build a panic script for low days. 3 lines to read out loud, sit, breathe. 3 minutes, then reassess. Put it in notes and on paper. Now craft the boring barrier. A 5-minute rule before any distraction. Want to open social? 5 minutes of focused work first. The urge often passes by minute 3. Day 13 is the reset drill. If a day is missed, the next day must be microscopic. 2 minutes only to eliminate shame and restart momentum. Day 14 adds a clean slate ritual. Wipe the desk, lay out tomorrow's first tool. Write the first sentence of the next task so the page is never blank. Day 15, review the environment. What still makes a sabotage easy? Add 1 wedge. Your willpower is finite. Your architecture isn't. Build once, benefit daily. The middle of any challenge is a desert. Novelty is gone, results aren't obvious, and the brain whispers, what's the point? These 5 days teach how to execute at 0 motivation. First, downgrade the target without downgrading the time. If the plan was 30 minutes writing, keep the 30 minutes, but shrink the demand. Outline bullets, fix typos, organize references. Output flexes, attendance doesn't. Second, convert pain into rhythm with the 5-4-3-2-1 walk-in. 5 breaths for shoulder rolls, 3 neck turns, 2 wrist circles, 1 long exhale, sit and start. Ritual reduces dread. Third, use the when-then script. When I feel stuck, then I do 3 ugly lines. Ugly lines are allowed, celebrated even. Fourth, redirect comparison. Save a note titled Past Me. List 3 moments from the last year where today's minimum would have been a victory. Read it before sessions. Compete only with the earlier version. Fifth, declare floor. Floors are the lowest acceptable performance you will not negotiate. 10 minutes movement, 1 clean meal, 1 page read, 1 page created. Even on crisis days, the floor happens. Day 18 introduces a compassionate audit. What would make today 10% easier? Answer with 1 tweak. Move the session, shorten the block, simplify the task. Day 19 asks for a mentor echo, a line from a Stoic you'd respect. Endure and complete the task, placed as a screensaver. Day 20 log a streak snapshot. Days done, misses restarts. The story is not perfect for 30. The story is showed up for 30. Consistency beats intensity when the well is dry. Progress collapses when the environment starts pulling. These days, fortify boundaries so momentum survives other people's urgency. Start with the broken record script. 1 clean sentence repeated without decoration. I won't be available tonight. If pushed, repeat exactly. No new data, no apology. Next is the gray rock mode for chronic manipulators. Respond briefly, factually, and without emotion. Don't feed drama with energy or explanations. Pair it with a why ladder for requests. Ask yourself why this helps the 30-day goal. If the chain breaks by step 2, it's a no. Create a default availability block, 2 hours daily labeled focus session. Treat it as a meeting with a difficult boss. If a call tries to land there, propose 2 alternative windows. This converts no into a professional redirect. Build a script for guilt. I'm choosing a promise I already made. It affirms responsibility without inviting debate. Day 23 adds a relationship audit. List 3 people who fuel the challenge and 3 who drain it. Increase contact with the first group for this week. Limit the second to necessary interactions. If someone uses Darvo, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender, don't argue labels. Return to the boundary. Not available. Here are my hours. Day 24, deploy micro-exits. Phrases that end ambush conversations. I've got to jump into a session. Send details. Then physically leave. Day 25, reaffirm identity. I'm the kind of person who honors time blocks. Boundaries are not aggression. They are clarity. The goal is a calm life that protects the protocol. Quieter days, stronger results. Day 26 is demolition and discovery. Take the entire 30-day experiment and perform a forensic sweep, not to admire effort, but to extract the operating code. On a blank page, draw 2 columns. Move the needle and looked good. Under move the needle, list the tiny behaviors that actually shifted the day's trajectory. Opening the dock before coffee, the 3-minute starter when dread hit, the night layout that killed morning friction. Under looked good, dump the aesthetic extras, the perfect playlist, the fancy app, the color-coded calendar that felt productive but delivered little. Circle the top 3 needle movers. These become non-negotiables for the next quarter. Everything else can be seasonal, optional, or deleted. Now, write a why brief for each non-negotiable. 1 sentence clarifying what problem it solves and what failure looks like without it. Example: night layout prevents morning drift. Without it, I lose the first 40 minutes to aimlessness. The brain protects what it understands. Day 27 is codification. Create a 2-page playbook that future you can follow even on a bad day. Page 1 is the morning stack. Wake cue, water, movement, the first block named and opened, minimum viable when defined. Page 2 is the night reset. 2-minute review, win, fix, gratitude, layout of tools, next action pre-written, and a shutdown phrase that closes loops. Done for today. Tomorrow is prepared. Print the playbook, tape it where quitting can see it, and save a copy in notes. The goal is to make success less about willpower and more about execution of a simple recipe. If a friend borrowed the recipe, they should produce 80% of your results. That's how you know it's code, not vibes. Most transformations don't end. They evaporate. Not in a crash, but in a warm fog of I'll resume tomorrow. Day 28 exists to make relapse boring, expected, and recoverable, like a fire drill, not a scandal. First, define relapse precisely. 3 consecutive days without the minimum viable win. Precision removes drama. Now construct the relapse ladder. 4 rungs that climb from zero back to flow. Rung 1, attendance only. 15 minutes in the chair with the tools open. Allowed to do the easiest related task. Organize notes, rename files, clean the space. Goal, end the avoidance loop. Rung 2, minimum output. A single ugly page, a 10-minute walk, or 1 set of movement. No edits, no upgrades, no earned breaks. Goal, restore self-trust. Rung 3, structure block. 1 25-minute focus sprint with a 5-minute off-screen break. Goal, re-experience momentum. Rung 4, normal protocol. Return to the standard days plan. Each rung can only be climbed after 2 consecutive days at that rung, which prevents the ego from overreaching and re-injuring the habit. Pair the latter with a restart message pre-written in notes. Back on. Day 1 of restart. Today, rung 1 at 7:30 p.m. Send it to one accountability partner. Make the restart public in a tiny circle so the mind can't hide. Add a relapse map. 3 common triggers, late nights, travel, conflict, and 1 prevention per trigger, earlier shutdown, travel kit, walk before talk rule. Finally, a mercy clause. Resets never erase the streak, they continue it. The identity is not perfect. The identity is returns quickly. That is what outlives motivation and chaos. Day 29 is the ceremony of naming. The last month wasn't random effort. It was the birth of an identity. Open the calendar and rename the daily block to something that makes quitting awkward, stoic work, deep practice, or focused duty. Swap the lock screen to a single uncompromising line. Control the controllable. Choose a totem for start mode. A ring turned inward, a lamp switched to amber, headphones placed a certain way. When the totem is on, the world narrows. When off, life opens. This switch spares willpower by dividing the day into 2 clear states. Write a 1-paragraph creed that begins, I am the kind of person who include 3 behaviors, 2 refusals, and 1 reminder of why this matters beyond metrics, family, craft, health, service. Print it and sign it. The signature turns aspiration into accountability. Day 30 is not a finish line. It's a proof of concept. Mark it with a small ritual, a quiet walk, a clean meal, a note to future you titled, How I Keep Going on Bad Days, listing your top 3 restart cues and your exact morning stack. Then choose the extension, either a 14-day consolidation, same protocol, no additions, or a fresh 30 aimed at 1 bottleneck only, deep work hours, fitness baseline, or a financial hygiene. Never upgrade more than 1 pillar at a time. The system survives by staying simple. Set a checkpoint 30 days ahead with 3 questions. What stayed? What slipped? What scaled? Put on the calendar now. Finally, send 1 message to the person who cheered you on. Day 30 complete. The system works. Because that's the quiet truth under all the noise. Discipline is less about fire and more about plumbing. Build the pipes once. Let them carry the water daily. The life changes because the code runs, not because the mood returns. Keep the code running.